Hi everyone. This is my service learning assignment with Reflection by me, Kaylee Cannon. This is for OTA 1150 Professional Growth and Development. I did this on 8/8/2025. It's due 8/10/2025. On this first page, this on the left bottom corner is the Senior Care logo. This is where I completed my service learning. Um, on the bottom right is a picture of the facility courtyard. Um, Introduction. I completed my service learning at Senior Care Health and Rehabilitation. It's a 144 bed skilled nursing facility in Wichita Falls, Texas. The population included older adults recovering from surgery, stroke, or illness, as well as long term care residents with chronic conditions and cognitive decline. The facility's mission is centered on dignity and compassionate care, which aligns closely with occupational therapy's core values. My primary role involved assisting in the activities department and grooming tasks, especially nail care, as a meaningful occupation. I offered structured choices such as polish color or which hand to begin with to support autonomy and cognitive engagement. I monitored for skin breakdown, edema, and allergic reactions just to kind of make sure that we were going to be okay throughout the session. Um, Beyond the physical tasks, I use therapeutic touch and gentle conversation to build rapport. For some reason, for some residents, this was their only one-on-one interaction that day. One woman with some moderate dementia became visibly calmer during the activity. She was smiling and reminiscing about her past. These moments reinforced the power of occupation to regulate emotion and support identity. In the bottom left corner and in the top right corner are a picture of some nails that I did. Um, these are just two ladies that I got to snag a picture. Oh, go back. Okay, and then core values. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. Okay, core values. Some of occupational therapy's core values are dignity, autonomy, and compassion. They were central to my interactions. I approached each resident with curiosity and respect, adapting the task to their physical and cognitive needs. One resident was cognitively intact but physically limited. She loved getting her nails done. She did it every Saturday. Um, she shared stories about her hometown and her life journey, which created space for emotional connection and narrative identity. This interaction exemplified client centered care. Uh, I wasn't just performing a grooming task, I was facilitating an occupation that held personal meaning. It reminded me that even small routines can be therapeutic when approached with intention and respect. Um, there are just pictures of the core values dignity, compassion, and autonomy. Um, Communication strategies. I use trauma informed communication strategies to support residents with cognitive and emotional challenges. This included a soft tone, slow pacing, visual cues, and consistent routines to foster safety and predictability. One resident that I had was nonverbal and she often cried during care. I'm not sure what kind of disability she had, but she would be happy 1 second and then she would just start crying. Um, but she was also, she was nonverbal. She would, essentially, she would babble and you couldn't really make out anything. And it was just kind of hard to work with her. After the task, she smiled and admired her nails. That was her first moment of visible joy that day for me. I'm sure other people got that, but that was right after I finished doing her nails. That was first time for me. This reinforced the importance of adjustment, sensory regulation, and honoring nonverbal communication. This is my created program. It's called Echo and Embers. Echo and Embers is a program I created to support clients experiencing emotional dysregulation, disrupted sleep, or a sense of disconnection from self. It's built around two core elements. So you have an echo, which is kind of the picture in the top left corner. My echo is a reflective ritual using sound, breath, or guided imagery to help clients attune to their internal state. This might include soft chimes, vocal toning, or a body echo scan, where clients notice sensations and name them aloud or in writing. The next core element is embers, which are in the bottom right corner. Embers are a symbolic storytelling activity where clients identify small sparks or moments of warmth, strength, or clarity from their week. So kind of like a roses and thorn type activity. Um, these are represented through tactile materials like fabric swatches, stones, or colored light filters, and arranged into personal ember maps. Um, each session ends with a closing ritual, so hanging around warm washcloths, spraying some lavender mist, or shared affirmations to reinforce safety and containment. The program is adaptable for both group and individual formats and supports clients in building emotional literacy, sensory awareness, and narrative agency. Leadership principles. Leadership in OT, it isn't always loud, it's often quiet advocacy. I demonstrated ethical leadership by initiating setup, adapting tools, and creating a respectful space for residents to engage. Um, I modeled professionalism, used inclusive language, and advocated for residents' preferences. Um, so, one of the situations I ran into that I kind of took upon myself to um, adapt was a lot of the residents were having issues with regular nail polishes chipping, and they were having to come every Saturday, which, yes, they enjoyed coming to the nail day, but they just wish that it would last longer. um, I like to do my nails in my free time, and I have a bunch of gel polishes, and I made sure with the activity director that it was okay. She said yes as long as the patient says it's fine. So I brought in some gel polishes, um, just for the ones that were having some issues with the regular polishes. So that goes into my residents' preferences. Um, Another example I had was a resident declined nail care. I respected the choice and offered an alternative engagement. Um, while some of our residents were getting their nails painted, the other ones were doing coloring sheets. So I offered that to her. Um, this upheld her autonomy and modeled trauma informed care. Leadership is also meant collaborating with staff to ensure continuity and safety. So that goes also into the first example I had about the gel polish, just checking in with the staff that works there and making sure that it was okay with her, and went on about our day. Teaching principles. I applied therapeutic teaching strategies to support learning and participation. One resident had low dexterity due to a stroke, so she had left-sided hemiparesis, and her hand was not. Try to get in the camera. Her hand was not closed, but it was more like this. But she had a brace that she could put her hand in that would kind of straighten it out a little bit for her. And luckily, she was right-handed, so she could easily do her left hand, but her right hand she couldn't do. So, um, she did need some help, but I helped her with that. So I broke down each step: opening the polish, positioning the fingers, applying the color, and used visual cues and repetition to guide her. I probably had her. I think I had this specific patient every time I did my service learning. So I got to really work with her and help her with it. And I didn't even realize that I was using a teaching strategy until I started writing this, but it worked out great. Um, I also offered verbal encouragement and adjusted pacing based on her responses. This supported motor learning and built confidence. Um, Social and occupational justice. The facility promotes social justice by accepting Medicare and Medicaid, making care accessible to diverse populations. Occupational justice was evident in activities like nail care, which supported identity, autonomy, and emotional regulation. For residents with cognitive or physical limitation, these routines were often their only opportunity for self expression. OT's justice lens reminds us that participation in meaningful occupation is a human right, not a luxury. And my role helped uphold that right. Reflection and growth. This experience was deeply meaningful. I felt honored to support the residents in their routines that affirm their identity and dignity. I grew professionally in trauma informed care, therapeutic communication, and adaptive teaching. I learned to listen deeply, respond flexibly, and honor each resident's story. I can't tell you how many stories I've heard from the residents. Um, I believe I contributed to the facility's mission by promoting compassionate, client centered care, one nail polish bottle at a time for right now. Um, some challenges and opportunities. While OT is present and active at the site, its scope is often limited to physical recovery and ADLs. Um, I have a family member that is a occupational therapy assistant at this facility. She actually recommended it to me, but they don't really. There's a lot of stuff that we've learned in school that they don't really do there. Like they don't have anything like the um, echoes and embers activity that I made. It's more the physical recovery and ADLs. So, emotional regulation, sleep disruption, and trauma informed routines are rarely addressed through formal OT channels. This presents a powerful opportunity to expand OT's role in the facility, not by replacing the existing services, but deepening them. So, programs like Echo and Embers can bridge this gap, offering sensory and symbolic interventions that support identity, regulation, and occupational justice. And this is my reference page.